So that's me. My name's Lester Ducusin. I'm from Primary Connect, which is part of Woolworths supply chain logistics. I'm part of the supply chain development and program delivery team. So we basically part of the team that builds warehouses, designs them, and also working with suppliers specifically. Um, and it's been an interesting journey for us. For those, do we have any suppliers here? Any suppliers? No? No suppliers at all? That's all right. So if you look at the journey into automation, does anyone here at all deal with automated warehouses or manufacturing plants at all? Yes, fantastic. We've got Anthony right there. George Weston. I've got Anthony from George Weston. So yeah, so you would have worked with us. You're part of our supply chain and network. So good to see you here. I'd also like to thank our sponsors and providers, Matthews. I think going into events like these, it's very interesting for even myself and people. I see a lot of people just walk through stands, they'll have a look, and then they'll go to the next stand. Feel free to have, to talk to the team members here. The team members here are your pioneers. They're so fantastic. They've got so much wealth of knowledge. Even myself, I've been going around the last couple of days. I've learnt so much, right? Working with Woolworths, we've got the huge capital investments. We're building billion-dollar sites, and I'm still loving hearing what technology and what innovation is out there. And I think that's very important. So I'd like to thank the team here. They're doing a great job, not just at Matthews, but everyone else here as well. So when we talk automation, I'm a big person who always asks the question, why? Why do we do it? When you say automation these days, especially the media and people that don't work in the industry, there's a lot of fear, especially things like, well, no one works there, right? So our site at Dandenong, if I give you a couple of numbers to have a guess at, do you think we have 0 to 100 people there working at the moment? Put your hands up if you think we've got 0 to 100 people working at that site. 0 to 100, we've got a taker right here. 100 to 500 people. 100 to 500 people, so a little bit more, yep. So that's where we're seeing. 500 plus. Do you think an automated warehouse, fully automated, where we've taken away the manual handling side of things, can employ 500 plus people? 2 people at the back. You're cheating because you know the site already. So believe it or not, a fully automated warehouse, Dandenong South, 500 plus people. Okay, so when you read the media articles, it's a dark warehouse, no one works there. If you want, I can bring you along and see that. So we have over 500 people working in that site. Now, if you look at where we are as a society and our workforce, automation really helped us out, especially in the macro environment that we've had, with the 2019 COVID and things like that. It really hit the industry hard, right? So warehousing, logistics, transport, packaging teams, we really were bent out, right? For that 2019 to 20, even now, I think we're still at that stage where we're breathing a sigh of relief where, geez, we went through COVID, we had the containers getting stuck in the oceans, we had the wars and that's still currently happening and things like that. We had a lot of labour shortages, even the petrol markets and all that stuff, and obviously inflation and everything. And it was very tough times for industry, and what we found when we were running our automated sites, well, we were still able to produce and serve our customers, right, so our stores. Who remembered the toilet tissue debacle, the empty toilet shelves? So that was an interesting one for us because we were there in the background staring at thousands of pallets of toilet paper, and all I saw in the news, and all my mates were asking me for toilet paper at the time because they couldn't get it. The stock was there, right? The stock was there, we just couldn't get it out fast enough. The network just got overloaded. And that's where automation comes in. And that's what we're trying to do here. That's what all the exhibitors are trying to do here. We're building a network. We're building the future network of really Australia's infrastructure, which the future generations will use. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. I've been in the business for about 8 years, so 7 years in this role. Really thankful for that. And yeah, let's move on for that. The other thing as well, in terms of, I think this is really important. So I've got 3 sisters. I've got a son and a daughter. And when you think of warehousing, maybe 10 years ago and even now, if you look at the demographics in a warehouse, you walk into a warehouse, what do you see? Right? It's usually young males between 18 to 25, and you might see 1 or 2 females. Right? Look left to right. If you see everyone in this room, you might see 1 female in that warehouse. Right? Where we are now as a society and equality and things like that, I'm pleased to say where we are at Moorebank at the moment, our new distribution centre, we've got 54% female representation at that site. Just let that sink in for a second, and how much automation can really provide that type of benefits to the community and also society as a whole, right? So I think that's a really fantastic fact to have. And we're also working on providing people with disabilities that work with warehousing and supply chain. If you asked me that 15 years ago, I would have laughed at you. I'd be like, it's just not going to happen. But that's where we are. That's where we are now. So, and if you look at the average age, we have a lot of mums and dads that go into our warehousing. A lot of flexibility. So we have a lot of mums and dads that drop off. They'll come into work and pick up. And we also have a lot of the older generation that's retired that wants to come back to work. Automation enables you to do that, to come to work where you're no longer having to physically pick and pack the products, but you're able to still work at the site doing different things, right? Could be checking the machines, making sure that they're working. Could be quality. It could be making sure that everything goes in line. So those are the things that automation provides. And that's what I'm hoping to share with you on why we do it and why it's important moving forward. So how do we do it? How does it get done? What we see at the moment, dealing with our suppliers, obviously, apologies. I can hear myself, but if you can't hear me, just let me know. Number one, the macro environment end-to-end review is very important. So we find a lot of suppliers and manufacturers, they focus on one part of their business and hand it over to the next. So you might use a 3PL, for example, and there's no communication or alignment on standards that go from one to another. So if you look at our network and manufacturing, like in Dandenong, we could get products from overseas, de-stuffed from containers from Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane and places like that. It's got to be able to go through, different stop points and a lot of storage facilities to make sure it gets to us. And we find the best companies and suppliers that align their teams end to end, from manufacturing, storage, 3PL and transport, they have less troubles and they have better quality products that's going through. That enables less wastage. I hate wastage. Put your hands up if you hate wastage. It should be everyone, because we shouldn't be wasting. Thank you, Andrew. Wastage and sustainability is very big with us at the moment. And by aligning everything and making sure all your quality is correct, you have less wastage as well. So if you look at automation as well and delivery standards, people always think, oh wow, it's going to be so strict. I'm going to need new machines. Everything has to be brand new. Um, Believe it or not, it doesn't have to be. So we work with the biggest manufacturers and suppliers in Australia, and they consistently upgrade certain pieces of equipment. So for example, with us, when we built our Moorebank, I think we've got 50 or 60 of that machine on the left, labeling machines. But that's a brand new site. For existing sites at the moment, there's always ways for integration of your current equipment. And believe it or not, most of the time suppliers are surprised that they don't really need to change that much. But what they need to look for is increasing the quality, right? Making sure that the product that they send out to the network can get through the network. So we also have a lot of, in our sites, a lot of rework that we do that we don't really communicate to suppliers. So we do accept it as much as possible, because at the end of the day, our job function is to get the products onto the shelves so we don't have people panicking about toilet paper, right? It was really funny that time. It was like, what was next? You know, you got the toilet paper, what's next? And then it was pastas and anything that came from the containers. For those that didn't know, we had container issues. We couldn't get anything in, nothing, for like 12 months, 18 months. And it was a interesting times. Obviously, you've got your technological data, right? So you've got your teams that do that, your IT teams and things like that. That's pretty simple. People and process, this is a big one. People, again, when I said at the start, when you think about automation, people already think there's no people there. There's no people. But I'm telling you now, our biggest improvements and our biggest operational increases came from our people and processes. It took us 2.5 years to learn how to run and manage our fully automated site. And we're now running quite consistently. And that's due to the knowledge, training and continuous improvement. And the last one's collaboration. Being in a presence like this with the exhibitors, talk to the exhibitors, talk to us. We're happy to answer any questions. We'll be here today as well if you want. And I think that's a big one. Collaboration is the way to go. So us, Primary Connect Woolworths, we're very open, right? We work with all our retailers, all our suppliers, and we're not scared to answer any of the hard questions. In terms of quality and things like that, these are just your normal things. If you've been here for the last couple of days, you probably would have heard a lot of these things, right? So your pallet quality, your wrap, your SSCC labels, carting quality and data alignment. And again, those are, got a minute and a half. So those are these standards have been with us for the last 20 years. We haven't really changed it. But we're just giving you a lot more feedback to say, hey, just letting you know this is what we're seeing on our side. How can we help you out improve on this? Because once the network really enables more suppliers and retailers and automation, it's gonna be really important. I've got a little analogy about automation where we are now. So with our fully automated site MSRDC, it's like buying a brand new Ferrari and you're driving it on a dirt road, right? It doesn't matter how fast or how great your car is. If you're driving on a dirt road, and a non-conformance could be a rock, a pebble, right, to the size of a boulder, right? So we're running our site and you bring as a pallet that's half damaged, that's a boulder. We can't put that into the system. That can't go to the stores. So that's where the end-to-end comes from. How do you work with your manufacturing and 3PL and transport to make sure that when it gets to us, that it's in a condition that we can process as well. I think my time's almost up. So again, I'd just like to really thank Matthews, Apex and yourselves for turning up. And hopefully you've learned a little bit. I'm very big on connection. Again, collaboration for us is number one. Our team, Sean, Brad, Julian, we've probably taken over 1,000 people through our automated warehouse at MSRDC. And with our Moorebank now in Sydney, Sean and the team specifically, because they're from Sydney, they're doing a lot of open days, and eventually we'll open the site for suppliers as well to go through that. So if you're a supplier and interested in that, come reach out to us and we'll probably see you on site. So thank you very much for your attention. And again, if you want to talk to us a bit later, come say hello. Thank you very much.